Welcome to Jom Studyla YouTube channel. Hope you are doing very well in your study. Today's lessons is reviewing past year exam questions for winter 2021, part 2 of 2. Without further ado, let's get started. Question number 21. Burning of fossil fuels releases sulfur dioxide, which leads to acid rain. Which ion in the rainwater causes it to be acidic? Acidity is measured on the pH scale. This scale measures the concentration of hydrogen ion in a liquid. A really strong acid might have 0.1 mole of hydrogen ions in a liter. So it would have a pH of equivalent to 1. So the answer for number 21 is hydrogen, H positive. Which statement about the trend shown by the elements of period 3 in the periodic table is not correct? The atomic radius to increase because the number of electrons in each atom increases going across period 3. However, this does not happen. The number of protons also increases, and there is relatively little extra shielding from electron in the same shell. So the answer for this will be the number of electron shell increases across the period. Number 23. The diagram shows the position of elements E, F, G, and H in the periodic table. E is actually represent rubidium, F represent cesium, G is actually chlorine, and H is a bromine. Which statement about element E, F, G, and H are correct? E has a higher density than F. Rubidium has a higher melting point than F. Yes, I agree that. Chlorine has a darker color than bromine. And chlorine has a lower melting point than H. Let's look into the answer. For me, it could be 2 and 4. Yes, if you look at this diagram, it shows that the melting and boiling points for the chlorine is actually lower than the melting point of bromine. And also, the melting point for rubidium is higher than the melting point of cesium. So, the applicable answer for this question would be 2 and 4. Next, when aqua iodine is added to a solution of vanadium's ion V2 positive, the ions each lose 1 electron. So, when vanadium ion 2 positive loses 1 electron and converted into V3 positive, this shows that vanadium ion acts as a reducing agent and has a variable oxidation state. So, the answer for this would be A. Transition elements have variable oxidation states. A piece of aluminium is dropped into dilute hydrochloric acid. No immediate reaction is observed. Which statement explains this observation? This reaction will not take place as soon as you add the piece of aluminium to the hydrochloric acid solution. That happened because the piece of aluminium is protected by a layer of aluminium oxide, Al2O3. The same layer that protect aluminium from reacting with water. So the answer would be aluminium is covered in an unreactive oxide layer. So the answer would be D. 26. Some metal nitrates and carbonate decompose when heated strongly. Metal Q has a nitrate that decomposes to give a salt and a colorless gas only. The carbonate of metal Q does not decompose when heated with a Bunsen burner. What is metal Q? So the answer for this will be sodium. Aluminium is extracted from its ore by electrolysis. Which equation represents the reaction that occurs at the anode during the electrolysis? So if you look at the justification for this answer is, the half equations would be 2O2 negative to form O2 plus 4E negative. So oxide, ions lost electron, and oxidation is loss of electron. So the answer for this would be C. Mild steel consists mostly of iron. Mild steel can be prevented from rusting by a process called galvanizing. Copper is not a very strong metal. However, if it is made with a suitable metal, a strong alloy called brass is produced. Which statement is correct? Bronze and copper have a higher level of corrosion resistance than brass. To produce brass, copper is mixed with zinc. The reason being is to avoid rusting. Galvanization is a process to protect zinc coating to steel or iron. So the answer for this would be B. Copper is mixed with zinc to produce brass. Water is used for the irrigation of crop. Means that for the plant and for drinking water. For which uses must water be chlorinated? So the answer for this, for the irrigation process, we don't need water to be chlorinated. But for the drinking, we must use water chlorinated. So the answer will be C. Number 13. Which natural resource cannot provide a raw material for the manufacture of ammonia? If you can see from this is, petroleum and water is the source of hydrogen gas. And the raw material for the manufacturing of ammonia is nitrogen and hydrogen. Nitrogen and hydrogen are present in the air. Limestone does not use as a source of raw material for the manufacturing of ammonia. So the answer for number 30 is B. Ammonia is made in a Haber process. Which conditions are used in the Haber process? If you look at this process, this diagram, it shows that the temperature that you use in the process of Haber process will be 400 to 450. So the most suitable answer you can see is either A or B. But when you can see that the pressure or atmosphere that required for the Haber process, ammonia Haber process required about 200 atm. So the most suitable answer for this would be A. And the catalyst used is iron. 31 is A. Number 32. Which process in the carbon cycle is responsible for removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere? So when you look at the process of photosynthesis, what does the process photosynthesis does is it removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and replace it with oxygen. So the answer will be photosynthesis. The equation represents two reactions P and Q of lime, which is calcium dioxide. Let's look into the P. What is actually P? P is actually calcium dioxide combined with silicon oxide to form calcium silicate. So in this process, in the extractions of iron, CaO, which is calcium dioxide, is used as a basic flux due to the presence of impurities in acidic silica. And for the Q is calcium oxide combined with sulfur dioxide to form calcium sulfate. So, refer to chapter pollution when the removal of sulfur dioxide from the waste gas produced when fossil fuel containing sulfur are burned. So, in this condition, in which process do the reaction occur? So, the answer would be B. During the process of calcium oxide combined with silicon oxide to form calcium silicate, is actually, this is the process of extraction of iron. And on the other hand, when the calcium oxide combined with the sulfur dioxide to form calcium sulfate, so what is actually happened is flue gas desulfurization. Okay, let's look into question number 34. Which statement about ethanol is not correct? Esterification reactions between propanoic acid and ethanol will produce the ester ethyl propanol. So, statements which are not correct for the ethanol would be ethanol react with propanoic acid to make propyl ethanoate. But in this case, ethanol react with propanoate. In actual fact, it produces ester ethyl propanoate, not propyl ethanoate. So the answer for number 34 is D. And which pair of familiar represent two alkyne? Which is methane and octane. So the question, the answer for number 35 would be A. And number 36, which statement about alkane is correct? Methane, which is CH4, is alkane and burn in oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water vapor. So the answer would be A. Which statement about ethanoic acid are correct? If you look at this, CH3COOH is actually acetic acid. Acetic acid is actually ethanoic acid in category of ethanoic acid. Okay, because it's ending with COOH. So the answer for this is should be 2 and 3. It reacts with ethanol to form an ester. So the answer for number 37, it should be C. The flow chart shows how petroleum may be turned into a plastic. You have a petroleum and then we have a big process and it converted into saturated hydrocarbon. And then you have another process to become unsaturated hydrocarbon. And then you have another process to convert from material into a physical, which is plastic. So, which do you think the process in between involved? So, let's look into the explanation about petroleum refineries. Actually, petroleum refineries are large-scale industrial that produces saleable petroleum product from crude oil. And actual refineries operations are very complicated, but this can be classified into several processes. First, you have distillation. So distillation means that fractional distillation, which means that the separation of material based on difference in their vitality. And after it changes from petroleum and distillation, and it becomes saturated hydrocarbon. And then from the saturated hydrocarbon, it gone through a process of cracking. So cracking means that it involves breaking heavy molecule into lighter hydrocarbon. And then after that, it's changed from saturated hydrocarbon to become unsaturated hydrocarbon. Finally, they gone through a process of polymerization, which is reform, changing chemical nature of hydrocarbon into desired physical properties. So in this case, the most suitable answer for number 38 will be C. Okay, number 39. This is the structure of the synthetic polymer is shown. The structure shows that it is a polymer and it is formed by a condensation polymerization, which would complete gap 1 and 2. So the answer for this would be B. And which a substance is a natural polymer. So natural polymer occurs in nature and can be extracted. They are often water-based. Example of naturally occurring polymers are silk, wool, DNA, cellulose, and protein. So the most suitable available answer for this would be D, which is protein. With that being said, wish you all the best in your study. And please subscribe to Jom Studila YouTube channel and follow me at Jom Studila Instagram. And please don't forget that you may get to access to the customized note, and the link to get access to this customized note is http://www.beacons.ai/jomstudila. Or you can access this customized note via Jom Studila Instagram. So please subscribe to Jom Studila YouTube channel. Hope to see you in the next presentation slide. Thank you very much.